Hey everyone. I've never thought I'd be posting my own story, but here we are. I guess I need to get this off my chest and maybe get some outside perspective, or at least serve as a cautionary tale. I'm a 22-year-old guy, and for most of my life, it was just me and my mom. My dad was never really in the picture, so she was my whole world. We were that classic duo, super close, told each other everything, or at least I thought we did. She worked her tail off to provide for us, and I've always respected her immensely for that. She was kind, supportive, my biggest cheerleader. I genuinely thought we had one of those unbreakable bonds. The first sign of trouble was subtle. It started about a year ago. She'd get these texts and smile at her phone in a way I hadn't seen before, but she'd quickly put it away when I walked into the room. Then, she started being distant. Not mean, just preoccupied. Our weekly movie nights started getting cancelled for vague reasons. I'm just so tired, sweetie. Or, I have a work thing to finish up. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? She was my mom, and she'd never given me a reason to doubt her. Little did I know, the foundation of our relationship was about to crack wide open. The "I'm tired" excuses became more frequent. She started paying more attention to her appearance, buying new clothes, and wearing perfume around the house. It was weird, but part of me was happy for her. Maybe she was just finally focusing on herself after all these years of focusing on me. I even asked her once, jokingly, if she had a secret admirer. She just laughed it off a little too quickly and said, "Don't be silly, honey. Just trying to feel good about myself." It felt like a half-truth, but I let it go. The mom I knew wouldn't lie to me. The real discovery happened on a Tuesday. Mom had asked me to grab a package from her bedroom closet. As I was reaching for it on the top shelf, I knocked over a small, decorative box she kept up there. It spilled open, and a bunch of old photos of me and her scattered everywhere. Sighing, I started to gather them up. And that's when I saw it. Tucked underneath the last photo was a boarding pass. It was for a flight to Las Vegas from a weekend 2 months prior, a weekend where she had told me she was on a work retreat and would be completely off-grid. My stomach did a little flip. Why would she lie about that? I picked it up. It was for 2 people. Her name, and right next to it, a name I didn't recognize, Mark. My heart started hammering in my chest. A work retreat doesn't involve a secret flight to Vegas with a stranger. I know it's not cool to snoop, but I couldn't stop myself. The trust was already broken. I carefully looked through the rest of the box. Under a few more mementos, I found a receipt from a fancy restaurant in Vegas, again for 2. And then, the real kicker, a folded-up brochure for a couple's spa, with a little heart doodled on it in her handwriting. It felt like I'd been punched. This wasn't a new thing. This had been going on for months. All those cancelled plans, all the distracted smiles. It was for this Mark guy. I put everything back exactly as I found it, my hands shaking. I felt like a stranger in my own home. I waited for her to get home that night, the evidence burning a hole in my brain. I tried to be calm. When she walked in, all smiles, I just held up the boarding pass I'd taken. Her smile vanished instantly. "Care to explain the work retreat in Vegas?" I asked, my voice way steadier than I felt. She went through a roller coaster of emotions right in front of me, shock, guilt, and then, finally, deflection. "You went through my things? How dare you violate my privacy like that?" When I didn't back down, she switched tactics. "Fine. Yes, I went to Vegas with a friend. His name is Mark. I didn't tell you because I didn't know how you'd react. I was going to tell you when the time was right. It's been months, Mom. You've been lying to me for months. Who is he?" She sat down, sighing like I was the one being unreasonable. "He's just a good man I met, okay? We've been seeing each other. I'm allowed to have a life, you know. I didn't want to introduce you until I was sure it was serious. It's serious enough for couples spa packages and fancy dinners." I shot back, my comms starting to crack. "You looked me in the eye and told me you were working. You lied. Over and over. That's when her face changed. The guilt was gone, replaced by something colder. Well, maybe if you weren't so clingy and dependent on me, I wouldn't have felt like I had to lie. I've sacrificed my entire life for you. Don't I deserve a little happiness? That felt like a knife to the gut. My own mother was calling me a burden for expecting basic honesty. After that, the mask came off completely. Mark started coming over. A lot. Mom became a different person around him, giggly, dismissive of me, acting like our past life was some boring chore she'd finally escaped. Our house, which had always been my safe space, now felt like his territory. She'd make comments about how nice it was to have an actual adult conversation. At dinner, blatantly ignoring me. She'd promise to help me with something, like reviewing my resume, and then blow me off because Mark wanted to go see a movie. The kind, unobtrusive mom was gone, replaced by someone indifferent and, frankly, kind of bitchy. The lies kept stacking up, always to benefit her new life with him. The initial shock was like a constant buzzing in my ears. I'd walk around the house just feeling numb. Then the anger hit, white-hot, blinding rage at the injustice of it all. I'd given her my unwavering loyalty my entire life, and she traded it for some guy she barely knew. I'd lie in bed at night just replaying all the lies, each one feeling like a fresh betrayal. After the anger came the deep, hollow sadness. It was a grief for the mom I thought I had, for the relationship I believed was unbreakable. I felt orphaned while she was still living down the hall. I cried more in those few weeks than I had in years. It was embarrassing, but it was real. I had to accept that the mother I knew was gone, and this new woman wearing her face didn't care about my pain. The moment that broke me for good was a week before my college graduation. It was a huge deal for both of us, or so I thought. We'd always talked about this day. I came home to find her and Mark looking at travel brochures. "Look, honey," she said, actually excited. "Mark found this incredible last-minute cruise deal. It sets sail the weekend after your graduation. Isn't that perfect?" I just stared. "My graduation ceremony is on a Saturday." "You're talking about leaving on a trip the very next day?" She waved a hand. "Oh, we'll be back by Tuesday. It's fine. We can celebrate when I get back." She was going to miss my entire graduation weekend for a cruise with him. After promising for years she wouldn't miss it for the world. That was the moment any last shred of hope died. The sadness solidified into something cold and hard. I was done. I didn't say a word. I just nodded, a fake, tight smile on my face, and went to my room. The emotional storm inside me had finally quieted, replaced by a chilling, crystal-clear resolve. Acceptance wasn't about forgiving her. It was about accepting that she had made her choice, and it wasn't me. I wasn't going to yell or plead anymore. That's what she expected. She expected the clingy son to have a meltdown, which would just make her feel more justified in her actions. No. If she wanted to be indifferent, I could be indifferent. If she valued her new life so much, I decided I would give her a permanent, uninterrupted dose of it. I was going to remove myself from her equation entirely. That was my revenge. Not a dramatic blow-up, but a quiet, complete disappearance from her life. I had been saving for a down payment on a car for years. That money became my escape fund. I spent every spare moment applying for jobs in a city 3 states away. I called up an old college buddy who lived there, and he agreed to let me crash on his couch for a bit. I quietly packed my most important things, documents, sentimental items, clothes, into boxes and slowly moved them to a friend's garage under the guise of donating old stuff. I was a ghost in my own home. I spoke to her only when necessary, my responses short and neutral. I think she mistook my silence for sullen acceptance. She was so wrapped up in her cruise plans with Mark that she didn't notice I was slowly erasing myself from her life. The indifference was a two-way street now. Graduation day came. She made a big show of being there, taking pictures, but she was constantly checking her watch and talking to Mark on the phone about the cruise. I played my part perfectly, the grateful, smiling son. After the ceremony, she gave me a quick hug. I'm so proud of you, honey. We'll have a proper dinner when I get back, I promise. Another lie. I just smiled and said, have a great trip. The next morning, I heard them leave for the airport. The second their car was gone, I moved into action. I rented a small U-Haul trailer, loaded it with the rest of my things with the help of my friends, and cleaned my room spotless. It was like I was never there. The final thing I did was leave a single envelope on the kitchen counter. Inside was a copy of the Vegas boarding pass and a note. The note was short and simple. You wanted a life without me in it. You got it. I hope it was worth it. Do not try to contact me. Then I turned off my phone, got in my car, and drove away without looking back. I didn't turn my phone on for 3 days. When I finally did, it was to a nuclear meltdown of notifications. Dozens of missed calls from my mom, Mark, and even a few from numbers I didn't recognize. Voicemails ranging from confused, to angry, to outright hysterical. The first one was from the airport. Honey, we're about to board, but I just realized I forgot my. Anyway, call me when you get this. The tone was light, annoyed. The next ones were from later that day, after they'd landed and she'd gotten home. Where are you? Why is your room empty? This isn't funny. Call me right now. Then came the panic. Please just call me. Tell me you're okay. I'm so sorry. We need to talk. Please. The final ones, from a day later, were just empty. A broken, quiet voice I barely recognized. I understand. I'm so sorry. Please just let me know you're safe. I listened to them all once. Then I blocked her number. And Mark's. The silence that followed was the most peaceful sound I'd ever heard. I'd been at my friend's place for about 3 weeks. I'd gotten a job, was looking for my own apartment, and was starting to feel human again. The doorbell rang one afternoon. My buddy answered, and I heard a woman's voice. My blood ran cold. It couldn't be. But it wasn't my mom. It was an older woman, well-dressed, with kind eyes and a familiar-looking frown. She introduced herself as Carol, Mark's ex-wife. She'd somehow tracked me down. Turns out, my vanishing act was the final straw for Mark's own lies. His world was crumbling too. Carol had been trying to get alimony from him for years, and he'd been hiding assets. My mom, in her desperate attempts to find me, had called everyone in Mark's phone, including Carol, begging for information. In their frantic conversations, my mom had accidentally let slip details about their finances, details that proved Mark was lying about his income. Carol came to thank me. My revenge, which was meant to hurt my mom, had inadvertently given a complete stranger the evidence she needed for her own justice. The universe has a weird sense of humor. So, that's my story. I'm in my own apartment now. It's quiet. I'm in therapy, working through all of it. I haven't spoken to my mom. I heard through the grapevine that she and Mark didn't last much longer after his financial mess came to light. I don't feel happy about that. I just feel nothing. And for now, that's an upgrade. What did I learn? I learned that sometimes the strongest revenge isn't about yelling or causing a scene. It's about peaceful, permanent absence. It's about reclaiming your peace and putting yourself first, because sometimes the people who should care the most won't. My advice for anyone in a similar situation? Your pain is valid. Your anger is valid. But don't let it consume you. Channel it into action. Build your own life, far away from their drama. The best revenge is a life lived well on your own terms. It's not about hurting them back. It's about becoming so untouchably okay that their choices can't hurt you anymore. Thanks for listening.